Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great Taco Tuesday. I hope all your taco dreams come true. Unfortunately, my taco dreams didn't come true. I really could go for a nice taco right now. Damn. Oh my God. Taco would be great right now. I'm hungry. Anyway, here's where it gets to be a little bit crazy, okay? I remember during the live stream during the game on Sunday that Eagle fans didn't show up because they were getting beat down, where they literally gave up 2 touchdowns in the last quarter and lost the game, and seemingly are having meetings with, Saquon and A.J. Brown and so on. And they're 4-1, and they got seemingly all kinds of problems. The Cowboys 2-1, and they ain't got those kind of problems. Kind of crazy. So here's where it gets crazy is people were chanting MVP, MVP, MVP for Dak Prescott. Yeah, MVP. Kind of crazy. So today they addressed it a little bit on First Take. The question, is Dak Prescott playing like an MVP? Now, here's the thing. We're only not even a third of the way in the season yet. And we've seen teams that start out hot and get cold. We've seen teams that are cold get hot. But when you see, like Lamar Jackson is now injured, well, that's one of the big ones on there. You've got Baker Mayfield, and you've got Josh Allen that you look at and say are really good. Some of the early favorites like Justin Herbert, well, they've lost the last 2 in a row. So you have to put, of course, Jalen Hurts is still there. You have to put Dak in the conversation at least, at this point and see where it goes. He's going to have to continue to play this way, and the team is going to need to win some games. So listen, I'm not going to show it because if I show it, you know how they are with ESPN's First Take.
They're falling off their seat because I'm giving Dak Prescott that kind of credit. But I also want to applaud him for this. I want to applaud him for saying we shouldn't give a damn about what he's doing in the regular season. Lord help him if he plays lights out during this regular season and the Dallas Cowboys find a way to get themselves to the playoffs, and then he goes to the playoffs and wet the bed. He won't hear the end of it.
The MVP isn't about the postseason.
But he deserves league MVP consideration right now.
Couldn't just give the compliment. Couldn't just hand him the compliment.
So bad.
Right? That was Stephen A. yesterday on this show giving his thoughts on Dak Prescott potentially being the MVP. But Drew, as you heard, there was a little caveat to it. Nonetheless, Drew, what are your thoughts on what Dak Prescott has done so far? Do you agree with Stephen A.?
Well, he said league MVP consideration, or is he saying the favorite for the MVP? Which one?
I said league consideration. He's top 2 favorite. Top 2 favorite to be specific. Top 2 favorites, Drew.
All right. I love the job that Dak has done this year, and I think we're remiss if we don't mention the fact that right before the season, they traded unquestionably the leader on defense, and so that I think that just put more pressure on him. But look, I think he's handled it incredibly well. He's done it with injuries to some of his playmakers as well. I think it's more so to me, it's not just the numbers, but it's the poise and composure in which he's done it. That comeback to beat the Giants, in years past, that would have been a moment where the Cowboys fell apart. They never would have found a way to win that game. But the Giants score late, man, they methodically go down, kick the field goal, take it to overtime, go win that game. The way he played throughout the entirety of that Sunday night game against the Packers was really, really impressive. The way he played last week against the Jets. So he continues to get better and better. I love the fact that he acknowledges, hey, look, we're just trying to put ourselves in a position to go and really make a run at the ultimate prize. And that's how we'll be judged here. But yes, I like the way he's playing, but I'll be honest with you. I think Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield, I would put ahead of him in the MVP race right now. Yeah. You look at the way that these guys have played. First off, Baker Mayfield, statistically 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. But his late game heroics, Like, I mean, I tune in to watch that. That's the first thing I want to go and watch at the end of every Sunday is how did they find a way to win that game? So really impressive the position he's put his team in at the end of games to go and win. And then Jared Goff. I think has Detroit just become so automatic now that we don't give them the respect that they deserve?
Right.
I know they had that week 1 falter against the Bears.
Okay.
But since then, they've averaged 40 points a game in the last 4 consecutive games. That is hard to do, okay? And they're doing it a number of different ways. They lose both coordinators, offense and defensive coordinators, who want to become head coaches. And yet that system is in place, right? That culture has been established. That identity is there. But it starts and stops with Jared Goff on offense. I know they got some weapons, but, man, they need a guy pulling the trigger and distributing and leading. And that's what he's been doing.
I agree with Drew 100%. Baker Mayfield, to me, is the MVP of the league right now. I think what he has been able to do and what he's been able to accomplish has been next level. Either 5 or 7 different offensive line combinations. He had a center playing left tackle for 2 weeks. Still no Bucky Irving going out to Seattle against that great defense, lights it up. And to Drew's point about getting to the late game heroics, making it happen, making plays happen. But I'd be remiss if I'm not being truthful about why Stephen A. does what he does. So just so y'all realize, Drew, the setup of what he did, right? Kind of a backhanded compliment to Dak and kind of all this. If they make the playoffs, right? So this is Stephen A.'s way for all the Cowboys fans to jump on the bandwagon. Man, Dak's the MVP. We're going to make the playoffs. We got 4 bad teams we're about to go beat up on the next 4 weeks. This is what we're going to do. We just beat up on the Jets. So excited about Dak. Flowers. All the setup as he's praying for the demise of Dak. Soon as the season ends, that's all he wants. That's all he wants, dog. He wants to crush my man Dak, dog. There is no sincerity in my man pulling for Dak. He's just trying to whack my man. No, Dak, Dak is playing absolute phenomenal football. But I just want everybody to put on the record, this is why Stephen A. does what he does. Cowboys fans, don't let the man troll you again. You get trolled every year. Don't let him do it to you again. Come on. Be better than that.
I plead the fifth. Look, man. Look. Here's the deal. First of all, you caught me. I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth. But it's not like I have to hide. It's not a hope. It's an expectation.
No doubt.
I expect Dak Prescott to be right up there. The man is 30 games over 500 as a starter, Drew. That's 30 games over 500 as a starter, okay? But the playoffs come. It's different animal. And we all know it. And by the way, Drew CC, you can't relate.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm laughing at Stephen A. Smith.
You can't, because not only are you a Super Bowl champion,
my wife is like, are you having a heart attack? No.
Drew, you understand? Do you know Drew Brees finished second in MVP voters 4 times? 4 times. You understand? So Dak right up there, and Drew can relate, except Drew got to the playoffs and then forget what he did to get to the playoffs. You understand? He actually emulated and replicated his performances.
Okay, so should this be something that's even discussed? Should we think about it? You tell me. As always, you know how we roll. I appreciate you guys. And keep the faith. Maybe, just maybe, we'll win a few games.
I can't stand it anymore. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get
Calm down. Now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're one on the phone. Everything's going to be all right. Please.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
I've got to get